Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smart, and I'm back at it again with another video. So, I found this very interesting article, and the title is what really caught my attention because I'm very curious, what did Jon Moxley say in regards to his frustration over backstage incidents that were happening in AEW? Now, just throwing this out there, I don't know why this means anything, but just in case, I am recording this video as of right now. It is 11 o'clock at night on Monday. So you're probably going to get this video like 13 hours later, tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon, or whatever. If anything were to change, understand that I'm recording this 11 at night on Monday. Just throwing it out there, okay? Just got to have something because I'm not going to be around to upload anything tomorrow because I'm going to be super busy. So here's your video for the day. So it states, and link is on the description box below if you want to follow along. AEW World Champion Jon Moxley has revealed frustration over a backstage incident in AEW that reflects the attitude he's hoping to eradicate. While his on-screen character may be entirely fed up by the entitled behavior of the AEW locker room, Jon Moxley gave a rare interview where he shared some real-life irritants as well. Discussing the time he took exception to someone in the locker room referencing something didn't matter because it was at the bottom of the card, Moxley had thoughts in speaking to the New York Post Sports. Jon Moxley said, and I quote, "Earlier this year, I heard somebody, a backstage type person, talking about interviews, the pre-tapes or something. It was a situation where talents were not put in a position to succeed due to, lack of preparation and framework and direction and things like that. This individual said, well, it's a bottom of the card. It doesn't matter. Well, it's the bottom of the card. It doesn't matter. Can you imagine saying that? Like, you're fucking fired. You're fucking fired. Go work at Sunglass Hut. You should be fucking whipped for saying that. For one, everybody who was at the top of the card was at one time on the bottom of the card. That's how it works. You climb the ladder. You see a lot of frustration and confusion from some of those talents because there's no fucking ladder. They don't know what to do. They're kind of just wandering in the desert, right? And we're gonna be the ones to grab them by the shoulder and we're gonna walk them. And that's what we're gonna do." And also he states, let's see, I guess actually he just starts talking about the Deaf Riders. Now that they rebranded themselves off of the Blackpool Combat Club going forward. But that's a very interesting comments that Jon Moxley just pretty much said right there. Because obviously there's a bit of a gray area that he's pretty much towing the line on, right? Obviously the Deaf Rider gimmick is supposed to be people who are fed up with the working environment of AEW. Again, I'm trying to piece together the meaning of their story because I still don't necessarily have a confirmation as to what the fuck they're actually trying to do or what the fuck their goal is. But at the same time, you take one piece of the puzzle, take another piece of the puzzle, and you try to put it together. Even though it's not complete, you can kind of make out what the puzzle is supposed to be. So again, like I said, I'm assuming that's the whole purpose behind it is, they want to take over AEW to, instill responsibility into people. Again, it's the best I can come up with, folks. But for what he's actually somewhat shooting on, it's a bit of a work shoot because he actually probably does feel this way. It's not as if we haven't heard of I wouldn't necessarily call it allegations because I feel like that's a strong word for something that's not really worth alleging, but we've heard rumors of Jon Moxley feeling super frustrated backstage with all, the CM Punk drama stuff, the Young Bucks and all that kind of shit, and all the fights and stuff like that. And I can understand his perspective in regards to the talent, and we'll talk about the talent in a minute. But I do want to point out a few things about Jon Moxley that kind of rubs me the wrong way when I hear him talk like this. For one, Moxley, I don't think you know what the bottom is, bro. So yes, you did work the indie scene. Yes, you had to bust your ass to get the WWE. But make no mistake about it, bro. You came to WWE, and more importantly, when you came to the main roster, you came in as a main eventer. And you, for the most part, wrestled your entire tenure within the company on the main roster since 2012. You have been in the main event scene. And the lower main event card, the lowest Jon Moxley has ever fallen was at the top of the mid card. Not even lower mid card, like at the top of the mid card. I mean, the position that Jericho was pretty much in back in like 2000, 2001, that's the lowest a Jon Moxley has ever been, was the Jericho position. When Jericho was surrounded by Rock, was surrounded by Austin, Taker, Angle, Triple H. That's the lowest Jon Moxley was ever at. You do realize you came into the main roster with what most people will call a modern legendary stable in the show, right? That's the best stable in probably the last 20 years, easily. The Shield. And you came in, and no less, one may assume people will say for at least a good year or so, they pretty much presume that you were the leader of the Shield, right? Most people will say, for the most part, right, that if not Roman Reigns, for sure, you were probably the best person in regards to having a position in the company because of your character, because of your skills to talk on the microphone. Buddy, you were always made for success. And like I said, you follow through with that success. All right, you're a former Intercontinental Champion. You're a former World Champion, right? You're a former, I think he's a Tag Team Champion. Yes, he was Seth Rollins. He's a former Tag Team Champion also. Like, you're a Triple Crown Champion. You main evented, multiple pay-per-views. Multiple. You wrestled at WrestleMania, buddy. You're Money in the Bank briefcase holder. You've pretty much done it all in WWE for the most part. You've done it all. So for me to want to take your account and pretend as if what you're stating is relevant to what the AEW talent have, one, not taste, but two, I don't believe you're in any position. I mean, can you imagine someone who's a millionaire? I remember, you remember that guy? He got arrested now, obviously, probably doing prison time already. I'm not sure, but that dude, Sam Bankman-Fried or some shit like that, the dude who was doing all the scams with the crypto stuff. I remember hearing an interview with him, right? And I remember someone telling him, how did you get so rich? Or how did you figure these things out to put yourself into a position? Because I think I'm older than Sam, but he's a billionaire, right? I think he's like 31 right now, right? And I remember Sam saying, and he said it so casually when trying to give advice as to how to make it big in crypto. He was like, well, I started off with $10 million. As if everybody has $10 million. No, that's not how that works. Moxley, you started off with $10 million, buddy. You started off with $10 million. So to sit here and pretend that people who say things like, well, the bottom of the card, that's something that is very, very hard. And for the most part, who cares, right? For you to sit back, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Shut the fuck up, bitch. Who cares about the fucking bottom of the card? Dude, you were never in a position. And again, it's not to say that you're necessarily wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong. It's just that coming from someone like you, it's like it's on deaf ears, bro. Like you're one of the biggest wrestlers in the world right now. And for the most part, I will say that when it comes to at least name value, one may make an argument that at least the current landscape of professional wrestling from 2012 all the way to now, mind you, there are thousands of wrestlers, right? And as far as mainstream wrestling is considered, whether you want to take in TNA at the time, AEW right now, WWE right now, you've been in the top 50 your entire run from 2012 to now. You've been in the top 50 every single fucking year. And in some cases, you've been in the top 10. And in some even more rare cases, like for an example, one may even argue in 2016, right? One may argue in 2016, you've been probably in the top 5. You've never been at the bottom, bro. You don't know what the bottom is. I hate when I see these wrestlers who so desperately, it's like, I remember that, you remember the whole CM Punk promo with John Cena? And one of the things that John Cena was always, and I think this is true, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a shoot because of the way John Cena carries himself. One of the things that was super uncomfortable about a John Cena was the fact that, like, even though he likes the success, he doesn't like being known as one of the snippy with my toe in the air and my dick down on the ground. He doesn't want to be known as, like, you know, one of the guys who don't have to struggle, you know. He doesn't want to be known as the New York Yankees, right? He wants to be the Mets type of shit, right? That was always John Cena, but you can't help it, bro. You're one of the biggest wrestlers in the world. Your attitude may suggest something else, but you are one of the biggest wrestlers in the world. Something tells me Jon Moxley, you know, he has that same attitude. Like, I don't want to be known as one of these, you know, these Hulk Hogan types. I want to be known as, you know, one of these New Japan types, right? I want to be known as the guy in the underground. No, bro, you're not part of the underground. You're one of the most successful wrestlers in the last decade. Stop pretending that you aren't. You are one of the most successful wrestlers in the last decade. It's like the whole socialist thing, you know, preying on the rich, when in reality, I mean, bro, you're rich. You're rich. You're rich. You can claim to be a socialist. You're rich. You are fucking rich, Hassan. Get the fuck over it. But again, it's not to take away from what he's saying as far as, you know, the talent and the way that they feel. Now, there's two ways you can take this, right? On one hand, the talent being frustrated that it's the bottom of the card, you can say, yeah, you guys should probably stop focusing on your, you know, your dilly dallying and focusing on your moves, and probably backstage inside the ring going over your video game DLCs and saying to yourself, well, maybe I can use that new DLC move as a part of my repertoire going forward. Yeah, it's not to suggest that he's wrong about that. Absolutely. Stop fucking being little losers and actually go over your matches in the appropriate manner. How are you going to map it out? What are you going to do in order to actually fucking get over? Do the things that are actually relevant within professional wrestling. He's not wrong then. And we've been complaining about that for the longest. But again, it's to suggest, and apparently he notates it also when he says young talent, right? It's all young talent. Who do you think that they were influenced by? John? Who do you think that they were influenced by, huh? Who do you think was the guy saying and going to Brock Lesnar suggesting, hey, Brock, I got a couple ideas, brother. No, I was wondering if you take these thumbtacks and these glass and you pour it in my asshole and you kick me right there with the tip of your toe. Maybe I could sell it and, you know, we could pop the audience. And then afterwards, I can grab your head and I can give you the biggest fucking power driver in the world off a building through maybe 5 tables. And there's a shark underneath it. And that shark's gonna have his mouth wide open. And he's gonna bite down on your testicle when you go directly into his mouth. What do you think, Brock? You want to do it? Yeah, I knew you wanted to do it. Don't worry. I'll have you prepared. Okay, let's go. Who the fuck you think actually made that a thing? Who do you think made that kind of mentality? Who do you think influenced this generation, bro? You know, I remember Darby Allin saying in his promo, and I believe that to be a shoot, you were the people, your dumbass was one of the people that influenced him to come into professional wrestling, not just for the DIY mindset, but to do the things that he's doing in the ring currently right now. Who do you think was one of those people who influenced this generation, bro? You. Mick Foley, I love him to death. He says the same thing too, and it's like, Mick, bruh, you can't do the things that you did in the ring and then say, was it worth it, brother? No, I don't think it was worth it, brother. Okay, bruh, maybe you should have said it wasn't worth it when you were actually doing the stunts. Don't try to pull the ladder up from people now that you've climbed on top of the building. Get the fuck out of here. Get the actual fuck out of here. That's what I see when I see this type of attitude. It's not to suggest, again, third time saying it, you're wrong about what you're suggesting about the talent. It's to suggest that now that you've made it to the top, after being on the top for so long, You're now pulling the ladder and you're asking everybody, why are you struggling to get up the ladder? Find some other way to get up the ladder, brother. Okay, go. Maybe you should climb up the windowsill. Maybe you should fucking do some parkour, brother. Get good, bro. Bro, you climbed up the ladder. You're on the top of the building. Don't pull the ladder up from everybody right now so now they can't get up there and then you try to make it hard for them. That's some bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. Not to mention the whole preparation on the bottom and all this other bullshit. Bro, you're in AEW. Another thing, bro, you're in AEW. Jon Moxley, you are in fucking AEW. Make it the second company that you came in on the very, very top of the card. What is he? Like a 3-time AEW World Champion? I fucking lost count, but he's got to be the guy who's won the belt the most in that company. You stayed on the top of the card. You came in on the top of the fucking card. You are now currently at the top of the fucking card. What are you talking about preparation? Again, what is this? Like, why is he the spokesperson of all this? Bro, this is one of the biggest mismatches, man. You know, I mean, the people that, again, he's talking, right? Isn't his audience, you know, and I'm not suggesting anything, you know, too out of whack in regards to Jon Moxley, because I don't know his politics. That's always been one of the good things I like about Jon Moxley, is that he never really got too personal with his life. But talking about the people who do support Jon Moxley, right? The AEW audience who are probably going to side with the things that he says, right? Aren't you the audience that consistently hate the fact that politicians consistently try to talk about the little people and the working class when 9 times out of 10 they haven't gotten their hands dirty a day in their fucking life? I mean, granted, you are most likely Bernie Sanders supporter, so, pot, kettle, meet it, black, right? But at the same time, though, isn't that the audience? How do you let Jon Moxley get away saying shit like this? How do you let a guy like this, multi-millionaire, cosplaying hardcore wrestler, CZW, brother? How do you let him get away with saying some shit like this? Brother hasn't worked anything in regards to preparation in a wrestling company that didn't have any risk attached to it in like almost 15 years. And you're going to sit here and say that, brother, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to chastise you guys as to why you should probably do better. You should probably do better. But bro, you worked a decade and a half on top. Get the fuck out of here, my dude. Get the fuck out of here. Once again, not suggesting what he said is wrong, but find another person to say it. Dude is like in the back pocket of Tony Khan. Dude worked on the top of the card in WWE. Literally has done everything in WWE there is to do. Dude is probably going to go into the WWE Hall of Fame with the show in like the next 5 to 10 years. And he goes to AEW and has another most likely Hall of Fame career while being one of the architects of the company. And he's going to sit here and tell you guys, work harder, brother. Work harder, brother. Be more like me, brother. Use the hypodermic needle, brother. Stick the tiki torches in your head, brother. All this ladder that I'm pulling up from underneath you, don't worry about it, brother. Climb the window ceiling and get to the top. And if you don't work hard enough like me, when I had to climb up the ladder, slow, agonizing pain while my shoulder was collapsing on the weight of the gravity, brother, then you're not me. You're not Jon Moxley, hardcore extraordinaire, multi-millionaire hardcore extraordinaire. Yeah, sure, buddy. Live in that reality that you like to call life. We'll be over here living in the real reality we call the real fucking world. You're not wrong. You're just not the person to be saying the shit. As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you guys later. A deuces and a P-eyes.